Send me a message like location. I'm gonna come. Whatever you want, doesn't matter. Ireland, New York, Brooklyn, or Moscow, doesn't matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of Superhuman Unfiltered. This time, I'm yet again with my host and dost, mera jigra yaar, Arjun Mystic Chipalkatti. How are you doing, buddy? मौसम अभी भी अच्छा है. बाबा एंडरसन सिल्वा अभी भी हमारे साथ है. हम दोनों स्टूडियो में अभी भी बैठे हैं. And we're still here talking about MMA like the last 20 years क्योंकि हम थे, है और रहेंगे.
I'm surprised we haven't done this earlier, boss. This should have been done, I think, far earlier. Sitting on the sofa doing nothing but talking about fights candidly.
Correct.
And it's called Superhuman Unfiltered because this is truly, I think we've been through 3 or 4 podcasts of our own. We've been on networks, we've been on channels. We do the ultimate guide to UFC for Sony TV.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that we are not contracted by the UFC, but yeah, the UFC knows who we are.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
No, but क्या होता है ना? The UFC also has to approve shows.
Correct. This is all based on the UFC's mandate.
Correct. So basically, when they speak to the UFC and we thought of having, it's almost like Road to UFC.
Correct.
We have to conceptualize the show, see कि हाँ हो सकता है, नहीं हो सकता है तो कैसे हो सकता है. So it's all
correct. So
it's all interlinked.
Correct.
I would say. And speaking of interlinked, there's a very good question that's come up of 2 people who are so interlinked that if one goes, the other goes. It is Dana White and Joe Rogan.
Yeah, don't depress me. Yeah.
There has been so much of charcha that 2025
we're all getting old
is
now.
the last year of Dana White in the UFC. And Dana himself said a big announcement will come by the year end. And Joe Rogan was very, very candid and very open by saying, if Dana leaves, then I leave. Is Dana replaceable? Is Joe Rogan replaceable? And if both are not there, how will the entire dynamics of the UFC work? Because we are so used to seeing both these gentlemen for maybe 20 plus years together.
See, the thing
multiple pay-per-views.
The thing is that everybody anywhere in the world is replaceable. Everybody anywhere.
But does it still have the same flavor?
But it's not. No, see, because if you've been with somebody for a long time and you replace them, it's not the same thing.
Is the brand bigger than the person?
I think
like an
somebody,
Apple, it was like various.
Yeah, but see what happened. But see what happened after Steve Jobs died.
Yeah,
Apple has not been the same ever since.
I mean, there's always that founder, masala which is there in the company, and once that original founder goes.
See, but the problem, Somesh, is us OGs are also getting older. There are so many new
Talk
fans who don't. अच्छा, तू बूढ़ा नहीं हो रहा है?
इनकी तरह.
हम भी हो रहे हैं. We grew up watching these guys, and we grew up. I mean, I remember when Dana had so much hair at one point.
Yeah.
And he was a bellhop at a hotel.
Yeah.
And he started his career with the Fertitas, with taking casino money.
Correct.
And it was the Ultimate Fighter season 1 that saved him. Stephen Bonner versus Forrest Griffin. So if you've been watching the UFC since those days, from when they were broke and $30 million in the hole to now being valued at $10 billion and a public listed company.
Yeah.
It shows the entire trajectory of a man's career.
Absolutely. There have been many interviews where Dana has openly said the first 12 shows were done for free by Joe Rogan.
Exactly.
He supported us.
Yes, exactly. And that's why the love of Joe Rogan and Dana White is there so strong and so prominent.
Yeah.
And I don't, and I for one can understand that, because if tomorrow something happens, I know we're going to work for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, yeah.
And if at some point, God forbid, one of us walks away, it's not going to be the same.
Correct.
And I get it. And Joe Rogan is also, you can see, he stopped traveling overseas. He wants to be for his particular cards.
Correct.
And he's earned the right to do that.
Absolutely.
So if he says that he's done and Joe Rogan doesn't do it for the money. Joe Rogan has got enough money of his own.
Correct.
And it'll be a sad day if they both leave.
There was another conversation that Dana has already said that, me hanging up my gloves, that time is coming close. He's already 55 plus years old.
Stop, we're getting old. I know we're getting old, man.
And there was a time when Vince McMahon also was in and out of WWE. And then when he left for good and Triple H took over, the flavor changed. Vince McMahon had a very controversial, loud, bold way of dealing with the product. Triple H is very,
Yeah, but one difference I'll say, in the last, say, the 10 years of WWE, Vince McMahon has been slowly leaving. Like,
Yes.
his presence has not been as much as it was, say, in 1999 Raw is War.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
After 2010 or 2015 or so, he started like,
Moving
come,
away.
less.
Yeah.
His appearances are far, once in 7 events, 8 events.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if Dana does it that way, then we could get used to him not being around.
No, but don't you notice that there are many pay-per-views where John Anik is actually leading the press conference and and Dana is not?
No, but Dana's still there on fight night. Dana's still the one putting the belts around people. Dana's still answering the questions for the press. Dana's still doing his picks.
Yeah.
If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
So it's Dana who's doing a lot of forward marketing for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Dana being part of the organization is still, for us OGs, who, there was a time I used to hate people who didn't know, oh, you don't watch MMA? Yeah, because we are cool. We watch MMA.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's become this thoroughbred, full-fledged sport.
Correct.
With fans who will never understand the value of Dana White and Joe Rogan.
Absolutely. And I personally do believe that with Power Slap happening and the entire Saudi deal with boxing happening,
that is something.
We don't know where Uncle's gonna go.
We don't know where Uncle goes, but wherever Uncle goes, we go.
Yeah.
But moving on now to, we spoke about the WWE, we spoke about the UFC.
Yeah.
If there was ever a fantasy MMA card, like somebody's asked this, fantasy MMA card with fighters living or retired, who would you put in the main event and why?
Oh my God. Okay.
We've got 2 fights. I've got the co-main event and the main event locked up.
Oh, really? You already have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
My co-main event is George St. Pierre versus Anderson Silva.
At 185?
At 185.
That is a dream matchup.
It was going to happen. And my main event was the fight that was teased to us for years during the OG times, is Fedor Emelianenko versus Randy Couture.
That's
Do you remember?
That's a damn good. But Fedor was too good.
I don't care. It was. They were promised it to us, and it did happen.
I would say the main event for me would be Fedor versus Brock Lesnar.
No, Fedor Randy.
Fedor versus Brock Lesnar, because that kind of power.
But you remember Randy Couture's control in the clinch.
But Fedor, Brock demolished him. But just with size.
No, but that's the thing. But Fedor was not that big a heavyweight. But that is why Randy versus Fedor.
But Fedor would have been too much.
See, Fedor would have been too much for Brock as well.
Fedor. Fedor is facing Mike Tyson.
Oh, another one would have been prime John Jones versus prime Alistair Overeem.
At heavyweight.
And I'm talking about the Reem, proper Reem.
The Reem versus John Jones at heavyweight. You've got Anderson Silva versus GSP at 185 middleweight.
You got Fedor versus Randy Couture / Brock Lesnar at heavyweight.
Oh man, we've got the 3 fights locked in.
We've got those are.
We've got
those
3 fights.
Those would be our picks.
Such good. I mean, there are many women fighters also but all of the matchups have almost been made.
I mean, we saw Ronda versus Amanda. We saw Amanda versus Cyborg.
But Ronda versus Cyborg is something which was promised to us,
but I think that fight would have gone similarly to Amanda versus Amanda versus Ronda.
Oh man, these 3 fights are now giving me the goosebumps now. Imagine the Reem versus John Jones at heavyweight.
And I remember M1 Global cut a promo with Randy and Fedor, and they were smiling at each other. And I remember seeing this on YouTube many years ago. And the camera was moving, and we all thought, like, shit, it could happen.
Such a shame that it didn't work out.
I blame everybody.
Man, but the
Russians, that's why it's called fantasy match.
The Russians are tough guys to deal with.
Yeah.
Russians are tough guys.
They're tough guys. Anyway,
let's move on. Let's
move on. But to wrap up now, and we've had a lot of hot topics. We've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about fun things, and we've talked about Indian MMA. I think it's a rapid fire time, don't you think?
Absolutely. You know what? Let's get straight into it. We have our guys behind the camera, and we're going to be answering some really cool rapid fire questions. See you on the other side.